Living a New Life. Musings of the Day on Being an Artist. I never set out to be an artist. It's just who I am, and I've known that since I was a child. Being an artist is quite different from making art. Who I am, whether I'm making art or not, is an artist. It's a being, not a doing thing. Early on, I experienced life from the perspective of who I was, having different sensibilities than others I knew. I saw things and sensed things that others seemed to be unaware of. Colors and textures, shapes and forms had an effect on me. I had a unique relationship to my environment, to sound and light and color, and most importantly of all, with nature. I was being an artist, sensing the world as an artist, and relating to what I sensed in the same way. I wasn't making great art. I colored in my coloring books, and I decorated the walls of my room with all kinds of drawings and found objects. I made clothes for my dolls and painted everything I could find to paint, but I wasn't doing what I would name making art or attempting to be an artist. I was just doing what came naturally to me. Somewhere along the line, I did begin making art and was identified as an artist because of it. No one made the distinction between what I was creating and who I was. It was assumed that I was an artist if and when I was making art, and if I stopped, then I was no longer being an artist. I learned the distinction between what it meant to be an artist and actually making art in what appeared to be an unrelated way. At the time, I was a life coach and personal trainer, a teacher and workshop leader. I taught the distinction between being something and doing something to my clients, but somehow the significance of it for myself with regard to being an artist eluded me. We'd been working on how they approach their bodies and creating their lives, but I didn't realize at the time that how I was approaching teaching them was through the sensibilities of an artist. In this process of painting and living my new life, I'm looking at this from a much wiser perspective, one that I could only have gained after years of living in a way that was not true to who I am. For the last 22 years, I've been painting and creating regularly and have identified myself as an artist. I have been making art. Something has been missing, though, and I just became aware of it the other day driving in my car. I had one of those elusive flashes of brilliant clarity. They're so fleeting that I have to slow myself down and breathe to keep them from disappearing before I get the message. This one was a light shining on the distinction between being an artist and all that being requires, and the doing of art making. I realize that I have been doing art, thinking that if I did enough, I would have what I wanted. Do more, continually do more, and eventually it will yield dreams fulfilled. No, that is not how it works. I finally saw for myself what I taught so many others for years. Being comes first, and being an artist means living a life that is in service to that unique way of experiencing the world. It is a life guided by spirit, devoted to my true path, which for me is one of shamanism. This is the spiritual path I follow, one that has been a part of my life for many years. It is a path of finding one's own truth, a path connected to all of the natural world, to the earth and to spirit. It requires me to dig deep within myself and find the courage to live according to my soul's calling. Being an artist means being fully myself, because artist is who I am, not what I do. It is a particular vision more than an identity. I don't have to make art to be an artist, just like I don't have to dress a certain way to be a woman. I am a woman, whether I dress like one or not. I just am. The piece I've been seeing, is where I wasn't being. Many of us have heard the saying, be, do, have, which is really saying that first we have to embody, actually be who we want to be before we can have anything that goes along with that. It isn't the activity of a thing that determines who we are. We think that if we play sports, then we're an athlete. But I've learned that being an athlete is something within my psyche. And even through all the years of being unable to engage in the athletics I love, I am still an athlete at heart. It's an approach to life, not a thing I do. I just happen to be an athlete, not engaging in athletics at the present time. This is a difficult concept for most of us to grasp. We tend to miss the real meaning and significance of that. We really miss the being part. Have you ever asked yourself the simple question, who am I? If you have, you might have come up with an answer related to your career or the fact that you're a mother. Maybe a better question might be, what is my soul's essence? Not so easy to articulate, is it? For me, it's always been that I'm an artist and visionary, a creator. It's the way I experience the world. It's the eyes I see through. It is every sense that I have of what is real and true. And as I create this new life for myself, I now see more clearly that it has to be a life of being before anything else. The doing part will naturally follow. And the having of all that I dream of, I don't have to focus on that at all anymore. It is a natural outcome of a life of living true to who I am.